And I'm back with more .hack GU. And I've got a very special guest in my party. And she's my favorite character in this entire fucking game. So I am very happy. So yeah, get used to her being in the party as often as possible. $51. Okay. I think we'll be fine.
Alkaid.
Yeah. So yeah, just get used to watching people get stabbed.
You're open!
So yeah, I think you can see where where you can see Alkaid is going to shine is just wrecking face. She can be left to her own devices, handle herself. I'm gonna be sort of a healer in spots, but by and large, they're just gonna tag team and things are going to die. Even without paralysis, but with paralysis, it's gonna make it so much fun. And then think about it. Add a third character to the mix. I wish they had more twin blades. I would never not use, you know, a third twin blade character and shit like that. It's insane. Alright, so 55. So, there we go. Alright, so that'll replace the watch.
I'll crush you.
This is just broken. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun. What to talk about? Some point in the last game, and I think this was either immediately after or, you know, a couple of hours after the Alkaid fight, there was a quest, and I think I missed this. Because I said I was going to try and do a specific quest, and I forgot about it. Because I forgot it was in the first game. I thought it was earlier in this. I didn't think Alkaid would be available this early. Was them doing a thing in a cave, and Alkaid's party members and whatnot are also doing like a bounty hunting thing or whatever. And I guess like Haseo's trying to just convince her that things are not as... like, he understood he fucked up and is, you know, trying to apologize. Doesn't go well. But I think it's one of those things, like, Alkaid goes off on her own because she's super strong, and Haseo, like, helps her out and shit, and they slowly kind of, like, like, begrudgingly, you know. But by and large, the majority of the time, this is the first instance of them seeing each other since that time. You don't see her again, but for the rest of the tournament, she avoids contact. So she doesn't show up at any other phase of the tournament. She shows up, I think she shows up in the, I think she showed up in the ceremony. But again, she was just like, I've got nothing to say to you, you're a cheating bastard, you know. So the fact that she is talking to him, that's where it gets interesting. I might have mentioned this, I forget. I know I mentioned it, I think I mentioned it with Saku though, but Aaron Fitzgerald also voiced Alkaid. So she pulls a ton of voice work here. She voices Saku, voices Bo, because again they're twins, voices Alkaid. And Alkaid is just great. Alkaid, you know, we don't know much about her, but we know enough that she's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. I don't care who you are, I'm stronger than you. I'm gonna be stronger than you, or I'm gonna figure out how to be stronger than you. And there's nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna stab you, and it's gonna suck for you. You know, she's pretty straightforward. And you need a character like that. But again, there's a little bit more to it than that, and that's the benefit of this, is because we do have that ingrained. Okay, we know these people, and Tara showed us these people, these Ecolo people, so we have some of a backdrop. You have that ingrained. She got cheated out of a victory that, you know, battle-wise was won out of character, so out of combat. Regardless of how you were in combat, out of combat, she was gonna win. So, we know how strong she is, and now we're showing it. So that's another thing that they're showing off. And again, as you can hear it, like, it is definitely Fitzgerald who is doing Sakugo and whatnot, but she plays her way differently. Straightforward, just lower register character, like very Butch for a girl, you know. And I've always kind of had a fondness for those types of characters. And this was one of those first instances of that. You know, because, again, a lot of these characters are unique in this game because they have to have so many different ones. And I like Alkaid for many different options. One being the fact that she is a twin blade, and, you know, I didn't know it at the time, but the more that I play this game, the more I realize, hey, twin blades are broken, and use them, or use Pi, who's also a fast-moving character, you know, because there's no point in using anybody else, because they're just faster. But then you have the ingrained, we know a lot of ingrained build-up. There's a bit of a rivalry already, but now that we know, there's already something else going on. So it's weird that Alkaid is the one, like, Haseo is curious. He doesn't know anything about Sirius, but he's heard from Pi that there's something going on. And then all of a sudden Alkaid is like, huh, join my party. Like, okay. I don't know what's going on, but okay. So she just immediately bulldozes the conversation and says, hey, I know you wanted to ask me something, but how about I ask you instead? So she's very direct. And I think that's cool. Because that sort of thing is rare. I would say especially for like Japanese games where, by and large, female characters, unless they're like the Mitsuru or whatever, or even Yukari to an extent, you know, because I'm playing Persona 3, I'm using them as examples. But Chie from Persona 4, like, unless you're a character like that, by and large, most games, and this is especially coming from early 90s RPGs too, like a lot of the characters you'd see would be like Lana, Rosa, I mean, Rydia to an extent had gumption, but she wasn't like gung-ho, tomboy-ish, whatever, like Alkaid is. You know, because there is a difference. And again, it is kind of funny that she is a voice actress and Alkaid share voice actors. They were probably understanding this kind of works. I do kind of wish like Chie was performed in the same way Alkaid was, like a little heavier voice than kind of the, I don't know, Chie just had this kind of like, how would you describe it, mousy sound to her? Like Alkaid is just straightforward, but whatever. But again, I've always kind of liked stronger female characters.
This is a piece of cake.
And I like stronger male characters too, because I'm not in the mode for a wimp. I don't like the wimpish, oh, I'm just a normal guy with no redeeming qualities, whatever. Yeah. That kind of guy. The person that gets dragged along for the ride, and whether they learn how to be in a good group or learn their strengths or whatever, you know, you gotta have some agency. And I think that's what it is. A character should have agency in some form or fashion. That's why I'm not like a big fan of somebody like Gaspard, who's like, ah! Like every 5 seconds, you know. At least with Bo, I can kind of understand there's something else going on here. Gaspard's just a wimp, you know. And I'm not like a big fan of it. Like, I'm not a big fan of people who are overly aggressive to the point of being a dick, like Haseo, until like disc 2. But I'm also like, you gotta have some sort of agency or I'm not gonna like you at all. You don't want to be a complete stick in the mud, just complete flat. You know, so there's things there. And the same thing applies with someone like Alkaid, is because compared to Adelie, who is completely just, and rightly so, a bit of a doormat. But there's a story they're trying to tell, so I'm a little less just about it. But I think that Haseo and Adelie together don't make for the greatest on-screen chemistry until the story bits happen. When they have to like interact as people, it just becomes an oil and water situation. Haseo and Alkaid, though, these two seem like they would be people that understand, hey, let's go on an adventure. Let's kick the shit out of dudes. Oh, we got something serious to do? Let's go beat the shit out of dudes. You know, like Pi was one thing where it was, okay, she's a boss of some management firm. She's part of CC Corp and whatever, and she's older, so it's like, I'm just annoyed by you. Alkaid's the same age. You know, they're basically peas in a pod. So, it's not any wonder that, I mean, look at that. Just the little lines of dialogue she would throw out. The way she interacts with monsters and stuff, that's the sort of character I just aspired to see. Male, female, just straightforward. I need to kick this dude's ass or they're gonna kick my ass. Because there's something simple about that. Because why not? You have to have some agency. Again, you can have layers. And I'm not saying Alkaid doesn't. I'm saying that, by and large, when you look at a character, like, you should know immediately, like, surface level, like, is this gonna be kind of a nerd, a dork, a doormat, an ass kicker? In a game like this, where you're fighting a lot of dudes, you want a bit of edge. And that's why characters like Alkaid resonate with me, is because I don't run away from it. But I want to say we're done. Might be one more to me, but yeah. I'm not shy about saying that Alkaid was one of the first. I mean, I've always kind of felt that. And I've said this multiple times before. I do think trying to create a female character in a game like this, especially with, say, the gender ideology of Japan being different than the US, like, you don't usually bat an eye, I think, in America. Unless you're one of those people that's like, I don't like females who have agency, you know, that sort of stupid shit. Unless you're doing something really dumb, like saying it's woke or whatever, which is totally dumb, right? Most, by and large, like, a female has agency because in U.S. society, you can do that more. Not the wokeness, that's dumb. The idea that a woman can kick ass and be awesome, like, it exists. Like, duh. In Japan, though, I think it's the, by and large, even in games, they're more demure and just, meh. But when you have characters like Alkaid, like Ferris, like Chie, who just don't, you know, Makoto goes through that. She's trying to please everybody, and then until she doesn't, and then becomes a fucking motorcycle persona, right? You can see my brain just thinking, okay, this is exactly what I wanted out of a female character. Somebody who has agency, but it isn't a complete fuck up. It isn't just gonna follow along and just waste my time and be a complete waste of space. But again, as we'll see, Alkaid has layers to her, and I think that's important. So let's get to that.
All right, enough's enough. I want to know what's going on.
You saw what Sirius was like?
Yeah, it was kind of odd. Was he always like that?
It's your... Ever since you became the Demon Palace's Emperor, Sirius has been acting weird.
He's acting weird?
Sirius, he has decided to no longer come to Icolo. It's such a tragedy. He was always so proud of how he used to perfect his skill in the arena. And now he...
All of you are to blame. That's what you get for attempting to steal it.
God.
Ever since he decided to pair up with that wing guy and that naked guy, he's completely lost his mind.
No! No! That's not serious!
Come to think of it, Pi mentioned that an Ida signal had been reported at the Holy Palace in her email. Could Sirius have been taken over by Ida, like Entrance was? Then there are the other two who were with him. What about them? The winged guy and the naked guy. Could they be the same ones that were together with Tri-Edge on the Ida server?
Sirius and I, we used to love to argue whenever we saw each other. He was always so hard-headed about everything, and I would never be honest about anything. That day, the day I lost to you in the tournament, I just didn't know what to do with myself anymore. All my confidence and bluster was just for show. Just the thought of fighting you again made my legs shake and my head spin. My throat would even go dry. I didn't even know why I'd lost. I just didn't want to experience that kind of humiliation again. The notion of becoming emperor again seemed almost absurd. That's why I told Sirius that I wasn't coming back to Icolo.
What do you think you're doing? That which I wish to protect is the only faith worthy enough for the attention of the Emperor's throne. And all of the effort and bravery that is required to defeat a strong opponent, that is my purpose and my pride. There was once a time when you used to understand that.
Serious.
I want you and I to understand each other. All of these feelings, this faith, Alkaid, it's because of you.
It was like I'd had the wind knocked out of me. Somewhere along the way, I'd become obsessed with protecting what I had built up. And had forgotten all the things that had been important to me, like meaning, faith, and pride. It was only natural that I lost you. Haseo! I need you to help me!
Alkaid, you...
Please! I need to talk to Sirius more than anything! I need to know why he's been acting like that! He'll never listen to me if I just approach him straightforwardly. There's nothing more I can do on my own. Sirius was always particular about fighting in the arena. If I can make my way through the tournament and get to fight him directly, I might be able to find something out. Please, please, Haseo, please, enter the tournament with me. I'm sure we could fight our way to the top if we entered together! I guess I'm asking too much. Yeah, I know I am. I'm sorry to trouble you, really. Look, just forget I ever said anything, okay? Well, that's all I wanted to say.
Hey!
Oh, that's right. I'm gonna let you have the treasure box. It's to make up for my obnoxious request, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I pulled you into this. Look, just forget anything I said earlier, okay? See ya!
Hey, when's the Holy Palace tournament?
Huh?
If we fight our way through the tournament, we might find out why Sirius started acting strange, right?
Haseo!
And don't get the wrong idea. I'm not doing this for your sake or Sirius's.
Huh?
If the reason for Sirius's change of heart is Ida's influence, then that winged guy and naked guy must be...
Epitaphs call Ida, and Ida calls epitaphs.
Yeah, just like Ovan said.
Well, imagine this team. Bad enough on their own, but together, oof. Uh-huh.
All right, registration complete. What?
You gave up the Emperor's throne so easily.
I guess. It's not like I was in the tournament to become the Emperor anyway. Even without a fancy title, the fact that I beat Entrance will never go away.
That sounds exactly like something Sirius would say. Thank you, Haseo.
Huh? What for?
Will you know, go on adventures with me again sometime?
Sure.
Really? That's great. So, I'll see you around then. And just so you know, I'm persistent and I never give up. So, you'd better invite me sometime, okay? I'll never forgive you if you don't.
No problems there.
The Ida attached to Sirius, and the winged guy, and the naked guy who were with him. Epitaph's call to Ida. Huh. Hopefully, this will get me one step closer to the truth. I guess I'll log out and go check my email.
God damn it. Seriously, end a thing just saying that? Ugh. Whatever. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna take a break. So, let me get to saving before I check my emails again. Alright. Cool. So, see you guys in the next episode.